Hello, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, the executive producer here, and I want to thank you all for tuning in to watch us do all of the weird and stupid things that we do. Particularly, I want to thank our $25 tier patron supporters, who are Rowan Parker, Trevian Alexander, Samantha Bates, Cat Waterflame, and Elle. Without you and everyone else watching here on Twitch and on YouTube, we wouldn't be able to do nearly as many things as we do, and we wouldn't be able to produce this as regularly as we do. So thank you all very much for watching. And now, sit back, relax, and enjoy. We're live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to On Trails of Stardust, this 5th edition science fiction campaign, science fantasy campaign, run by myself. I am William, and I'm your game master for the story. Joining me today, we have Jack.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jack. I'm playing Till Wayland, the avian Way of the Iron Path monk, and 1/3 of the birds and the bees.
And John.
I'm John. I'm playing Koltarn, the orc artificer, along with Tolbar, his artificed orc.
His work of orcish artifice.
There we go. Orcish artificer, artificed orc. There we go.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Kendall Fairchild, who is an Eladrin warlock, and yeah, we'll just leave it there because I don't know. I'm just still talking. I don't know why.
Also a work of artifice, just a different kind.
That is untrue.
Camille.
Hi, I'm Camille. I'm playing Gideon Eaglin, Avian Rogue, and the second third of the Birds and the Bees.
And Holly.
I'm Holly. I'm playing Mistel. She's an Environ rogue. And that's it.
And Cody.
I felt like there was more. There's not.
Right? That sentence trailed like there was more to it.
I'm sorry, there wasn't.
I feel you.
You could just add on, lightweight drunk, anything like that.
I'm Cody. I'm playing Varush Al-Rul, the Loxodon Paladin, Way of the Watchers.
And our last best hope at any sort of leadership.
So I've seen.
And Craig.
Hi, I am playing Bees, a bunch of nocturne and swarm bees, or torch bees, who are collectively a swarmkeeper ranger.
Nice.
And I'm the last third of the birds and the bees.
A bunch of nocturne and swarm bee torch keepers. Right.
Yep, that checks out. Let's go on.
And when last we left off,
God.
The group had arrived at the gate city around Void Gate Fornbioth, and had established themselves as a adventuring company within the Core Adventurers League. Did you actually get through the name?
Yeah, we're the Dust Knights.
Yeah, the Dust Knights.
Dust
That's it. Yes. All right, that wasn't taken down in the party notes document, so I've completely forgotten it.
Oh,
We have a party notes document?
I have
Yes.
a party notes document. I don't know about the rest of you.
We do.
I didn't know it existed. Now I can actively ignore it.
But having established themselves as the Dust Knights, with everyone except for Kendall, for conflict of interest reasons, being signed on as a member, the group has set out to recuperate, with several of the party being either passed out drunk or close to it.
Woohoo!
By several, you mean two.
No, two of them are passed out. One is dancing on the table, and thus will be getting there shortly.
I feel like Kendall dances on the table without being drunk.
Right.
I feel like that's just what Kindle does. Like that's just like
yes,
in
like
bar, have
yeah.
drink, dance table.
she's not all that
And door,
drunk
hand
when
hook, car
when
door.
she does that. That's just what you do in the club.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the T-shirt for this campaign.
Right.
What's which T-shirt? That's what,
In bar, have drink, dance table.
Table. Fantastic.
I'm glad I'm able to put words together in a shirt-worthy form.
Uh,
Join us later for our TKO stream.
Jackbox games.
but anyway, the but with the group established, part of the group is either passed out or getting there. The other part is exploring the area around, looking for variously things to get in trouble with, things to do for money, and things to get in trouble for money with. Also, potentially those allies that they had been prophesied to potentially be able to find somewhere on this station.
And Caro said they would send us some job postings as soon as they came through, right?
Basically, as
Okay,
soon as potential leads that might help and or potentially might get you a ship.
Right, because we want a ship.
Coltarn involuntarily shudders as he walks down the street, because unbidden to his mind came an image of a bunch of bees carrying a torch through the air, and that's the most terrifying thing any of you ever thought of.
Okay.
Think of the implication of bees carrying a torch.
Bees
Jack.
that can commit arson.
Exactly, and aren't afraid of the fire.
Arby's, specifically Arby's, with the ability to commit arson.
No.
Yeah,
Any
that's kinda
bees,
scary.
like regular ass, real world bees, able to carry a torch. Think about that
Oh.
for a minute.
Yeah, that is kind of scary.
I think we paid for rooms to drop the dream team off as well. So
I think they're provided because we're part of the league.
Yes, you are provided rooms to rest and recuperate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Food and drink still cost, but room and board is free.
So yes, the drunks are deposited.
Yes.
I believe the title was Dream Team.
I like Dream Team.
I prefer Dream Team.
Look, these doors have a handy opening slot for when they're drunk.
Just because she's small enough to fit does not mean you actually.
Well, that happened.
I like to think it's like a food tray opening, but it's just like
Mistle wakes up like stuck in this little slot.
it's like on the tray attached to the door. It's like what?
But there were a few of you that were wandering around outside looking for anything of note.
Yes.
I think it was Tolar and Varouche, wasn't it?
Oh. You mean Coltarn?
Colton and Varouche.
I knew that Tolar and Varouche had gone. I assumed Coltarn went with
Who's Tolwar?
Tolar, but Tolbar.
Tolbar. Tolbar is the robot.
Yeah, I know. I just remember you saying that Tolbar had gone, and I assumed that implied that you went with him.
No,
but still,
Coltarn went.
okay, I'm confused then.
I mean, Tolbar does go basically wherever Coltarn goes, but
Yeah, no.
So yes.
Till was staying behind in the bar because his ward is dancing on a table, and somebody needs to watch the dream team when they eventually drop.
I believe the dream team has already been brought to their rooms. So
Okay.
there.
Well, still, if Kendall's there, Till's staying. So
Yeah. So where are Varouche and Coltarn looking?
bro, I'm where being from not this place exactly, but a place similar to this. Would I know where like the best place to sort of find work on a Void Gate station is, other than an Adventures League?
Looking around a gate city, typically speaking, if you're looking, it depends on what kind of work you're looking for. Looking for legitimate work, you can typically find around like industrial sectors, anywhere they're building, anywhere there are workshops, any like around the spaceport potentially. If you're looking for more risky and potentially higher rewarding work, also known as illegal work, you can usually find it in the seediest places, which is usually going to be the furthest back, like the furthest away from the gate itself, in the small places where people don't go.
Just sort of looking around, thinking, I turned to Varouche. Varouche, in your experience as a Void Guard, where in the city would be the most likely place for them to be looking for assistance with things that slip through the cracks relating to the gate?
Would I know that?
Roll me a history check.
Thinking of something that'll put our particular skills to use and also do some good.
You know what? I've got some to spare. I'll spend an inspiration.
You get any sort of advantage for being a Void Guard?
His DC is lower for being a Void Guard.
Oh,
Wow.
7.
With a 7,
Wow.
that's still enough to get you something because you are a Void Guard.
Let's at least know who to ask.
So the most likely place to find, like especially from your experience working as a Void Keeper, the office from which the Void Keepers operate is usually a good place to look for any kind of work that the Void Keepers might be too busy to send an official squad for, especially if, say, the captain is dealing with a number of things. They've been known to take the assistance of adventuring squads in handling any kind of official work that they might just be understaffed for.
Their overflow for their work caseloads, basically.
Where do you keep your backlog, fellas?
We could head to the Void Gates, one of the terminals nearby, and see what, if any, cases there currently aren't top priority, but still requested our assistance. We could check in that directory.
I feel like that'll probably be a good direction to point our crew in.
Especially if this threat is from a different plane. It's a good idea to keep an eye out on.
It also strikes you, Varouche, that potentially, if you can convince them that the threat is as big as you say it is, which might be a difficult challenge on its own, the Void Keepers would probably serve very well as potential allies in helping with whatever might be needed. So if you could get a conversation with the captain.
Yeah. Just thinking, how often do they dole out like transport vessels? If at all.
It's not unheard of, but like just if you could manage to convince the captain that the threat is as big as you're saying it is, which is its own task, he could provide a variety of useful assistance. He's not of your particular station, so you don't know how much weight your rank has, especially because you're not a galactically populous species. The Loxodons haven't been majorly known on the galactic stage, so you are likely only known locally in around your Void Gate.
Yeah, I've also only been here for 5 years, so
yeah.
All right.
but that's a place to look.
You're a void beat cop,
Yes.
but
I'm
not a
a-
cop.
I'm just above void cadet.
Well, maybe that's a good place to inquire then. Get some work and some clout for the Dust Knights.
Possible resources as well.
Oh, then let's see if we can find our way there.
He's
This
Void
way.
Agent V.
So we'll head that way.
Yeah.
So, making your way across, you have to hop some of the public transport to move platforms because the area that has the Void Keepers station is across one of the different platforms from where you're at now. But making your way in, you find yourself confronted by the first hurdle of trying to get this conversation going if you're trying to talk to anyone of significance, which is bureaucracy. Because there is a line as you enter the building of a variety of different people, whether it be people passing through who have to have their goods checked for inspection by the Void Keepers, or people who live here who have an issue they want something looked at, or people who have disputes that are coming to get arbitration. It looks like the Void Keepers are very much on this station seeing a lot of heavy business, and you're not that surprised by that considering how close it is to Gilgamesh Station.
What do you think, Roosh? Does this look like a bunch of overworked, underpaid individuals?
I'm not quite sure how they feel about it, but yeah. I just think this might take a while.
Yeah.
Looking at at the crowd. Let's see. Is there one of the dispatchers or a line that I can pop in front of? Can I use my badge to cut? Not so much my badge, just my holy symbol.
Make me a insight check just to try and read the room and find a spot.
She's like, you're the cop that turns on his
15.
lights to get through a red light. Whoop, 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 and then turns them off immediately afterwards.
Yeah, with a 15, you are able to find one of the keepers who is sort of acting as organizer and orderly, trying to keep the crowds in check. That is separate enough that you'd be able to walk up to them and flash your holy symbol to identify yourself as a fellow Void Keeper and get their attention for a conversation at least. It's a elven woman who looks like she has had just about enough with people's shit today, but
Okay, so I will keep the message short and sweet. Is the captain in need to speak with them about something that's come to my attention?
you and every other wandering idiot, but at least you have the badge that says you probably know what you're doing. All right. Yeah, let me signal the captain. Where are you from?
What's it? Formbjorn?
No, that's where
Formbjorn is where we're at now.
Okay, so I was stationed on Nocturna.
One of our outreach. All right, so I'll let the captain, and she pulls up a communicator. Captain, we have one of our outreachers from who had been stationed on Nocturna nearby coming in to speak with you. All right, I'll send him through. And she nods and indicates to a back door. Just head through there. They'll let you through.
Okay, I'll nod my head over so that
I've been like right next, like just behind and to the left of you, very clearly like somebody following along.
Yeah, we'll head back there.
So a few minutes of walking through the various different rooms of this of the station, and you ask a question every now and then. Someone directs you, continuing on to the captain's room.
As we're walking, I might suggest, rather than leading with Demon King breaking free, killing people to get his way, kind of world-ending scenario, we lead with the undead pirates wielding the forces of the void, openly summoning creatures of dark and shadow from Gnunga Gap, kind of more understandable situation.
That and the random appearance of an unknown body that could be verified by the Oracle later should
Yes.
at least get us our foot in.
Also makes the heavy lifting of explaining the doomsday scenario to the Oracle, which tends to be more believable than, well, us.
Yes, you have her number, correct?
Someone does.
All of us do, I guess, then. Till
Till's the one that grabbed her number. Yeah.
Text
Okay.
Till. Text Till. Hey, you got number?
I assume Till would have distributed it.
Oh no, he would not have.
Oh well then.
Right. So yeah, I will actually.
eventually, yeah.
So yeah, I will actually like send a message over datapad or comms or whatever.
Yeah,
To
Till's
Till,
got a 5 mile, so
Yeah.
he
to Till and just go. Do you have the number of the Oracle? Would be useful in the situation we're about to get into.
to which you'll get an audio call on your comm. What sort of situation are you getting into?
Finding work.
Oh, who are we giving this number to?
It was used for verification. We're about to go speak to some Void Keepers.
Oh, well, all right. I'll link you the comm.
Thank you.
And yep, send that over. Because Till does not like to feel like Janya gave him her phone number just so he could just hand it out to people.
Till's a good guy.
So yeah, you have that. As you enter the captain's office, you are greeted with a cardon. Damn it. Fucking in a different game, he's screwing me over.
I was like, wait a minute.
A
What's he
Kardosh
doing
named
here?
Cardon.
Sorry.
You are greeted with a Kardosh, who is wearing the sort of like heavy plate armor that they're known for. That sort of like big like steel plates that look like they mesh with the stone carapace of the Kardosh. With the large like mountainous ridge of his forehead, looking across the table.
But it's wool, so it's a Kardosh cardigan. And it is cardon.
The hue of his general scales are like reddish, like a dusty red, and then the plates themselves are more like a dirt brown with green eyes as he looks across. So you're our outreach.
Yes.
I'm Captain Lochran. How can I help you?
Just writing that down real quick. I'm Warden Al Rule, stationed on Nocturna. Had an incident on planet. The band of pirates started an orbital offense and a ground offense as well, while just a few days ago, and we're using beasts from Gnunga Gap, beasts of shadow, and also during this conflict, an unknown corpse made an appearance. Followed up with the Oracle, and then I go over the whole vision with them. So I'm not quite sure what to make of that. Oracle said we've been tasked. Was wondering if perhaps we had any cases that had needed to be seen to but couldn't by agents in the station.
Roll me a persuasion check.
I will aid by
Sure.
sort
Flexing.
of like well, I'll flex as I do this. It's like that strained. I'm just going to like jot down the Oracle's comm link number and sort of put it on the table. Understanding, of course, that such stories would need to be verified, and I'll slide the number to him. Though it is hard to reach her, the Nocturna is eternally shrouded in very bad weather.
So make that persuasion check with advantage.
Okay.
Sure. This is confirmation. This number says 555. She's really hard to get in touch with, man.
You know, my Oracle from Canada.
Yeah.
So with a 20, he sort of looks over the comm number. I don't place too much stock in soothsayers and fortune tellers, but the threats that you've already identified are worth looking into. We do have some work that needs to be done if you'd like to maybe take some resources from our bounty fund. There are a few problems around the station that we haven't been able to get squads to see to. The idea of suddenly demons breaking through and attacking en masse when some random body falls out of the air in the middle of nowhere seems a bit far-fetched, though.
Admittedly, it does. But if willing to spare resources, we could definitely use them.
At the very least, should the supposition be true, if we're handling the smaller tasks, your forces will be more prepared to deal with any incursions.
I'll certainly keep our eyes out, but in the meantime, we've been having a particularly difficult smuggling issue coming up. Shipments that have been brought in for inspection have disappeared before they've made it to our offices, which is frustrating. Particularly when we suspect, based on unique scanner responses, they're moving a significant amount of Autumbla without our knowing and say so. The proper tax on that kind of material is important, especially for operating around a void gate. Letting Autumbla move through the black market without being managed creates problems.
Do I know what Altumbla is?
Roll history, it's not hard.
Story. Natural 1.
You were saying it's not hard.
With a natural 1, you're aware that it's some kind of drug. You never really dealt with it.
So like the cogging head back to one side. I'm not familiar with the terminology. What exactly is Altumbla?
Autumbla is a void-sensitive drug. It's used, and you know this as he's saying it, Varush, with a 10.
Yeah.
Autumbla is a void-sensitive drug. It's used by pilots to allow them to make jumps through the void without the need of star charts or particularly effective divination magics. The problem is it's extraordinarily addictive and dangerous. It's useful when you're trying to get somewhere and you don't know how to get there, but it is rare, expensive, and potentially fatal.
I make a mental note to acquire some for testing, and a second mental note to keep it away from Kendall.
That's hilarious.
Smash cut to Kendall, who's slowly waking up. What do I hit out to him? Love grabbing in his purse.
I mean, I just meant with this, whatever sample I acquire for testing.
Has it been not reaching the station, or
Shipments that we've come in that have had the scanning, that have scanned as the right kinds of shielding and environmental protections that would indicate shipments of Autumbla that have come in, that have been slated to come in for inspection, have disappeared before they made it to the station.
look over at Coltarn? Did we want to see if we can possibly figure that out, or at
Absolutely.
least give him a lead?
That sounds like something we could look into. Do you happen to have the particular type of information that you scan for available? It would assist at least in potentially tracking down where it may have ended up.
Yes, I can get you a readout of the typical kinds of shieldings that you'll see in an Autumbla case.
Are there any shipments slated to come in within the next few days?
There's one scheduled to come in this evening, actually. A ship just came in through the gate and has declared a shipment of Autumbla on their manifest, but if it's going to come in, we need to make sure it actually gets here for inspection rather than vanishing partway through.
If you can get us the name of that ship, we can keep an eye out for it on the docks.
And keep an eye on it on the way here, see exactly where they're vanishing.
You're looking for the Zephyr. It's a elven ship that's come in recently. Look for a giant tree in the docks.
Giant tree named after a weather anomaly. Got it. Well, if you could get those scan information for us, I believe that's more than enough for us to get started.
And he'll forward you the details to your datapad.
Before we go, just one last thing. Is there any official paperwork or information we might need in order to present should we be questioned by your very good void keepers?
He nods his head to Varush. That symbol will do. You're one of our agents, and I'll let them know that there's an elephant man on station.
Good. Just wanted to
Tell him
clarify.
about the elephant in the room.
Well then, we'll stop taking up so much of your valuable time.
Thank you for the assistance. And turn and
Yep. Head out.
leave.
As the door closed behind us just as we're walking away. Well, looks like I did pick up something from my father after all. All right, let's go get the others. Well, let's go get the others that are still awake.
We can wake up the others as well. We might need them.
Absolutely, but let them sleep as long as we can.
Yes.
Both of you roll a perception check as you're leaving.
I see everything. 16.
7.
I see more than Coltarn.
Oh, absolutely. There's something stuck in my tusk, like right between the tusk and the tooth behind it, so it's It's kind of irritating.
I don't have that problem. My tusks just stick 3 feet out.
Ah, you're lucky.
Nothing can get
Just gonna
stuck
say
in
nothing
between
gets stuck
those.
in them. Yours get stuck in other things.
Nothing gets stuck there unintentionally.
I imagine you're.
Varouche, as you're leaving, you've got the sensation of being watched. Not by the Void Keepers, but by someone else.
I imagine your cleaning regimen takes longer than mine. I say referring to tusks still.
Just light brushing. Yeah, head back to the bar where I'm assuming Till is still fighting with Kendall to get her off the table.
Yeah. If she's not hurting anybody.
I thought we were in the room.
Sleep dancing. It's a thing.
In which room?
Like, I thought we'd all been taken off to.
No,
I mean,
no.
if you were still conscious, you were still dancing. It's the two that had passed out drunk that were getting.
No,
that were
I'd
taken
be
out to the
going with.
rooms.
Sorry, I'd be. I assumed that I had gone with them.
Okay.
That was what Jack's conversation had been about.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
no, we would have gone to keep an eye on our two unconscious companions.
Okay,
3.
So in that case, we go to where they're hanging out in a hallway playing Speed. And my son wants a password apparently.
Okay, it's swordfish.
It's always swordfish.
I'll be right back.
Every time I'm reminded that that movie exists, my IQ drops by a point.
I thought they were just referencing the NordVPN commercials from Critical Role.
I mean, that's
They
what we were
were.
doing.
But it's a reference to
the
a
movie
that progressively gets me dumber every time I think about it.
I don't know the movie that it's a reference to. I just
The
thought it was
movie's name
hilarious.
is also Swordfish.
Swordfish. It is a Hugh Jackman movie,
With
also starring
Travolta.
Halle Berry and John Travolta. It is a hacker movie that makes hackers look absolutely grounded in reality.
Yep, it sure does.
It pictures Hugh Jackman's Hugh Jackton.
And don't get me wrong, I love me some hackers.
Right. But the technical accuracy of that film leaves much to be desired.
Yes.
Swordfish knocks it completely out of the water.
Yeah, Swordfish
Beneath the
definitely
waves.
says hold my beer.
You're
on
right.
that.
We can make hacking look so awesome and inaccurate.
No, it would be hold my Red Bull.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Hold my hacking skills that I'm forced to demonstrate while getting a blowjob.
Yep, that sure is a
That
thing.
happens
That
in
yep.
that movie.
Yep.
Wow.
So, Till and Kendall, who are guarding the doors where our friends are sleeping.
Also
Glad to
bees.
see you. Still
Also
alive.
bees.
Hi, welcome back.
I'm glad to see you
Oh,
are
hi.
ahead of bees. Bees.
You bet. What?
Your head, Greg, all we can see is your head right now.
Oh.
Coming out.
Yeah, your head in part of your shirt.
It was just your head, like, and the hive mind. It was great.
What's great? Is there something in front of his face? I
There,
can't.
I'm sorry. There
Okay.
is. I moved my
Okay.
lamp.
It
Sorry.
was tripping me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
Is that better?
it's the fact that you're green screening out, and it's specifically the fact that you're getting green screened is lining up with the green lines on your
Right.
Hilaire
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't think that through. I wore the shirt because I knew it made you happy, William.
Oh,
I
It
thought
makes
you
me
would-
very happy.
I thought you would be kinder to me if I wore a shirt that made you happy.
I love that shirt so much.
I'm pandering to my GM.
I thought I was having
Nothing
an
wrong with that, dude.
flashback there for a second.
Well,
Yeah. What'd you find out?
oh, we found some work.
Okay. What is it?
Well, apparently, the local void keepers are a little bit overwhelmed at the moment with work, and could use some assistance, particularly with hunting down some stolen shipments of Altumbla.
And keeping it?
Well, no, getting it to them.
Can I see if I know what Altumbla is?
Roll history. See if you remember anything.
I like you.
Oh shit! Natural 20, which means I got an 18.
There's a spark of memory from somewhere, and you don't know where it came from. It's almost like you're remembering something that someone else remembers.
Okay.
Like you're not certain how you know this.
Ah, yes, memory by osmosis.
But you recall that Altumbla is a particular. It's a precursor word that references a primordial source of nourishment, and it's the name of a potent hallucinogenic drug that is developed from a unique plant of the same name. On the world that it came from, it's considered aggressively invasive. It has the ability to overwhelm other plants and even trigger adverse reactions in herbivores that would attempt to control its spread, which meant that the inhabitants of the planet that it first popped up on have to control it by force.
That means flamethrowers.
Yes. But the psychedelic effects that has have been less than effective, which is how they discovered what Autumbla can do. When it made it into the galactic scene, it was discovered that when you grind it into a paste and mix it with liquid mana, Autumbla becomes a potent ingested drug, which often gets the nickname of void milk, if you're not just going to call it Autumbla.
Okay.
When you consume it, most humanoids experience extreme sensory augmentation, often coupled with powerful hallucinations. Hearing, touch, scent, sight, and especially taste are massively augmented, along with a sudden increase in desire to experience with those senses. The effect of being under the influence is often known as Emir's Ravening, or simply the Ravening, named after an ancient titan mentioned in precursor myths regarding the original Autumbla. And while under the effects of the Ravening, a pilot can plot a void jump with precision on instinct without needing the aid of a star chart or divination magic of particular potency.
Okay.
As if they can just sense or taste the feel of the void.
I assume being a shipwright and a pilot himself, Till knows exactly what this shit is.
You know what it does. You might not know all the complex history behind it, but you know
Yeah.
the drug and what it does.
Right. Yeah.
I just assume that
It's
I
the
know
perfect
a
piloting
party
drug.
Oh, definitely Kendall would know it as the party drug.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Oh.
also potentially very highly addictive.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying she does it,
But she knows.
but she knows.
I'm not
Because
saying she doesn't.
party drunk. No, she does.
I love the idea that Kendall is the Nico of this campaign.
Oh,
I think that implies a level of self-awareness.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
oh, we know Altumbla. It sounds really like it would taste good, but it doesn't. But it makes everything more. And also, it's really expensive. Let's get some.
I have a lot of friends who like it.
Well,
Have you
the
tried it?
station has it for shipment, so we're just gonna watch. We're gonna monitor the ship as it comes into port and as it's in transit to where it needs to go to make sure it gets where it needs to go.
Awesome.
Yes,
And
they've been
then we take it.
they've been disappearing somewhere between the port and the Void Keeper's station. So
But we have a target vessel?
yes,
Yes, the Zephyr.
Elven ship.
Oh my
coming under
God.
dock.
I was gonna say
Zephyr?
any any background that we have on the Zephyr or Elven ship smuggling Altumbla?
Kendall seems to know about
That's
it at least.
amazing. My dad uses them all the time.
What, Altumbla or
I mean,
uses
he
what all the time?
contracts with them to deliver whatever.
The
That ship?
the Zephyr.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so what the two of you would know is that the Zephyr is a cargo ship that is very frequently contracted by
Mhm.
Kendall's father
Did-
for.
Did we build it?
No, you didn't
Okay.
build it, but it's
Okay.
contracted.
All right.
Kendall,
You've
Uh-huh.
probably put several parts into it.
Okay.
does that mean it counts as people we know?
So, yes, but
Hmm.
also, like, look, bees. If if people are shipping this stuff, it's probably people we don't want to piss off
Why?
because they're really important and really powerful and very likely to kill.
But that means they have more things and won't miss it as much.
Or they'll miss the things they miss twice as much.
Or they'll have the power to find us and kill us. And we don't want that.
Okay.
Well, yes, the shipments have been getting diverted before they reach the station. If we could find where or how they're being diverted, we could potentially find a large cache of the material and other such sundries that aren't being looked for. So think of it as
And those we can keep.
think of it as a treasure hunt, bees.
Okay.
Sound like a job everyone's interested in.
Certainly.
Gideon and Mistel are asleep, but I bet they'd want to go. We bet they'd want to go.
Well, the ship doesn't arrive until the evening, so we have a little bit of time to let them rest and sleep off the drinks.
Camille, have I ever have bees ever seen Gideon this drunk?
No, Gideon's never been drunk.
Okay.
That's
All
the
right.
whole reason this happened.
Okay. I don't know how long Gideon will sleep or Mistel. Damn it. I'm sorry, everybody. I keep screwing it up.
It's all right.
William, could I concoct a the
Prairie
equivalent
oyster.
the equivalent of like space smelling salts?
Smells like space.
I mean, you do have the ability to create a small device that emits a particular smell.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna. Oh, we'll be able to wake them up. I just want to let them sleep it off a little bit longer.
Okay.
Then perhaps in that time we can figure out a bit more about the ship and go over the files. Recent
Well-
ships that had their shipments missing.
I will pull out the data pad that has the information and sort of share it around to everybody so we can all take a look at it. That's all of us that are here. Yes.
Son of a bee.
Also, we have the shielding frequencies that not the other cargo containers were using for the Autumbla. So we may be able to have a slightly easier time tracking them down if we can get an idea of how they're taking them away.
Interesting. Can I get a look at that as well?
Show it to you.
Okay. Till download the specs and see.
It's a particular type of environmental shielding that is used to keep the Autumbla like in viable condition because it does not have a very long shelf life outside of shielding. So it's easily identifiable by those particular technologies if you can scan them.
Okay.
Bees is
Cool.
just kind of bees are watching the process.
And in that time, I will go ahead and use my magical tinkering to create smelling salts. So when he said evening, do we have an idea of how long that's going to be? Like mechanically?
He would have given you a timetable, so you've got it probably about 4 hours.
4 hours? Okay. So at 2 hours. So I guess long rest if anyone needs it.
Short rest.
Short rest, yeah, sorry. Short rest if anyone needs
Okay.
it. Sorry, I said the wrong thing. Short rest if anyone needs it. All right, well. Let's see about getting them up, and we can go stake out the place waiting for the ship to arrive. Kendall, question. Do you think with your connection to the Zephyr that we could get cooperation from them, or do you think it might be best to watch from afar so we don't tip off whoever's stealing the product?
I mean, I'm assuming I don't know like any of the crew.
Yeah, you don't know the captain of the Zephyr or any of the crew. but
Maybe met once.
you may have met the captain at like a formal event, like in passing.
I mean, we can use it. Like I can definitely say, they'll go up and say, "Hey, it's me. You know my dad. So we want to help you out," and so on and so forth, and blah blah blah. Um, not undoable,
Do they?
but I'm not gonna say for sure that it'll work either.
Like you probably met Captain Xanarim maybe once, like
Okay.
at a function.
I know I'm not. Stealth isn't my particular strong suit, so I was curious what all of our options might be. Though I do
Yeah,
understand.
I'm not very stealthy either.
Though it does seem that
We are.
bees and at least two of our party, I say, thumbing towards the doors, can be stealthy when they're not drunk.
Uh-huh.
So
Marginally capable of that myself.
Oh yeah, Phil's really good at that. A lot of times I don't even notice he's there.
So watch from afar.
What if some of us at least got onto the ship ahead of time?
Well, it's gonna be landing bees. It's not. It's in space right now.
Okay.
I don't. Can you fly that far, bees? From away from your
Yes.
hive?
Yes.
Insight check.
Can I, William?
Probably not, considering
Yeah.
the distance.
I know B's answer to everything is always yes, but
Yeah.
Right.
I legitimately don't know. Yeah, Umbral Jaunt's a minute. I don't think it's limited by ranged. It's or what do we call it? B jaunt or whatever it was. But it's a minute, and I guess it's what's my flight speed in jaunt form? Probably not.
It's
that
your
far.
walking speed.
I don't even know what the bees would do in void.
Hit the glass. Ping.
Yeah. So I guess I'm rolling deception.
Vibrate in frustration. That's what they do in space.
13. I would say bees seems like they just want to say yes.
Yeah. We might have to try that out at some other time, bees.
Okay.
Well, let's get them awake and see what their take on the plan is. And I will actually I'll turn my other device into smelling salts as well, so I have two. And I will hand one to bees. No, wait, yeah, no. Bees, would you like to go wake Gideon up?
Okay.
Just hover this around his nose and press this button.
Important question. Is this the same device you used in the first
No,
episode?
different device.
Okay, all right.
However, smelling salts do smell like ass.
Well,
Yeah, but-
to other people. I don't know about what they smell like to bees.
But bees live in a swamp, so I don't know if that's going to be as unpleasant. I think it's actually more
I
specific.
mean,
to
how much ammonia was in the swamp?
Not a small amount, probably.
yeah.
Okay. Might smell like home. You never know.
Yeah.
Actually, can I roll that?
To see if you resist smelling salt because you grew up on a swamp planet?
Yes.
Sure, that'll come into play.
Gotta make-
Roll me a con save.
Wake him up with the smell of bakery stuff, and he's just gonna be like, "Oh God."
I will hand the other one to Kendall.
Oh, damn!
I will
That's fucking great.
I will hand the other one to Kendall for use on Mistle.
Gideon is too used.
No, we're
to
gonna play that out, Beast.
Gideon is too used to the smell of the swamp.
So it cracks it open or pushes the. Is it a button?
Yeah, it's a little
John?
button.
All right. So pushes the button under Gideon's nose.
And just that.
They're
5 more
they're-
minutes, Mama Leah.
Gideon,
Mm,
you're supposed to wake up because of the smell in this orb.
you smell bad too, but
Gideon, smell the orb. Bees,
Yeah.
the just floating mage hand of bees starts just like shoving it into Gideon's face, like sort of clacking off his beak.
Yeah.
when it hits my beak, I hiss at him.
We got a job. We got a job.
No, I'm still alive. It's not my fault.
We got a job. Gideon, we got a job. We got a job. We're gonna be cops and take some drugs.
What?
Yeah.
No.
You were gonna be
No.
cops and take drugs. It's
No,
okay. Everybody
what?
else said it was okay.
What was that thing you put in my nose, dude?
It was a ball.
Did you put bog water in my nose?
No. What?
Are you lying to me?
No. Coltarn,
Yes.
You're kind of an awful liar, so I believe you.
is there bong water in this?
Bong water.
I didn't say. I said bog water.
Oh,
Bog water.
sorry,
for the
I
swamp.
misheard you. Is there bog water in this?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Gideon.
Yeah, I heard him. What's
I-
what's going on?
It was the most
put bog-
it was the most nearby source of ammonia that I could find, I guess.
Yeah.
We put bog water in your face.
Yeah, I got that. What's this about? I was
There's just a little giggle from all the bees. We got
that
a
was
job.
tweet.
We got a
What do
job.
you mean a job?
A job.
We got a job.
We told you.
Why didn't anybody tell me we had a job before I got drunk? Come on,
You
let's go.
drank. We didn't have it when you got drunk.
Wait, I got drunk and they went and got a job without me?
I guess.
Bitches. Why didn't you stop them?
We had to carry you.
That's fair. What's the job?
We told you. We're gonna be space cops and take drugs.
So they got a job that made us cops, and you were just cool with this.
For taking the drugs to sell for money.
I'm gonna go talk to Coltar because you're not making any sense at all. And
Okay.
Don't put bog water in my nose anymore.
Okay.
Freaking weirdo.
Okay. And as you move away, there's this sort of rippling giggle among the bees that are flying around the room. And one of the bees lands on Coltarn's shoulder before Gideon gets there and says, "Coltarn,
Yes.
do you have any more bog water?
Yes.
Can we have it?"
Absolutely.
All right.
I want to know what happens with Kindle and Mistle now.
Yeah, I mean, meanwhile, with Mistle, the
Yeah.
effect is immediate. Like,
That,
just
I think it's funny that you're assuming that I'm using it on her.
okay, that's fair.
No, she takes it. She walks over and she gets down and just sort of gently shakes. Hey, honey, it's time to wake up.
No.
We have a
Girls
job.
over. No.
We have a job.
No, I don't like jobs.
Jobs get you money, apparently. That's what I hear anyway.
I get my own money. Go away.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going away, but you can sleep a little longer. That's okay. I understand. I've been there.
That's why you're my favorite. She
Thank you.
falls back asleep.
And she falls back asleep.
Perfect.
It is really rude to just forcibly wake someone up for being drunk. And Kendall knows that. And Kendall's not going to do that to anybody.
Fair.
That's
And let's
besides,
be
that can
honest, it's Mistle. We can just pick her up and bring her with us if we need to.
Yeah.
also that.
Like a napping
This,
cat.
this is why this is
Right?
why I gave it to Kindle, because I trusted Kindle to use her best judgment on how to wake Mistle up.
Fair enough. And this might be useful at some point when somebody just flat gets knocked unconscious.
Also that, yes. And it's an endless supply, so it doesn't last forever.
Yep.
Very reasonable.
All right.
Okay, so like, can I make a request? I say as soon as I see Coltarn.
Certainly.
Can we like discuss getting jobs before you just throw people in rooms and go get jobs without them? I don't know that I wanted this job. What the hell is this job anyway? He said something about drugs and cops. Why would you possibly think I would want to be a cop and get drugs from people? Why would you think that was a good idea?
Are you done yet?
Yes. I would ask the question. I would like an answer, please,
Okay.
sir.
One, we're not cops. I don't know where. you
That's
got
what
that
B
idea.
said. Why would you say B to wake me up anyway?
Because he's your friend. And why would you believe Bees when he says we're going to be cops?
See, my first question. You sent him to wake me up. I was not conscious when he. What? Why are we doing this?
I'll start from the beginning. The Void Keepers on the station, the people that are
Void keepers. He thinks the void keepers are cops. That makes sense. All right, go on.
the people that are best
Oh,
equipped
dude.
to aid us in fighting against demons and the kind. The people
Also a valid point.
Yeah.
Continue.
are currently overwhelmed with a bunch of tasks. We went to them to see if we could establish a working relationship by aiding them with some of their other jobs that they haven't had the time to deal with.
Oh, it's merc work.
Yes.
Why did you just say that?
One
We did.
One of those jobs is retrieving some shipments of Autumla, which have been being stolen en route
Can
to the
I make a
station.
roll for Atumba?
Roll history. It'll be slightly harder for you.
Right.
Coltarn is infinitely patient.
That's
But you know
20.
about it.
I know all the things that Bees knows, right?
Roughly, yeah. You probably picked it up from someone wandering around who was just talking about it.
Yeah. Well, one of my mother's clients or something.
Yeah.
Now, the Autumla that we're being tasked with protecting and safeguarding is the current shipment that's coming in aboard a ship called the Zephyr. It's an elven ship, which apparently Kindle's familiar with in some capacity. But
I
the
work with my dad a lot.
the ultimate goal is to locate whoever is making off with their shipments, deal with them, and recover what we can. Now, in recovering what we can, there's likely to be more things than just Autumla. This is a fairly active group of bandits that have been stealing from the Void Keepers on the station. So, in that particular respect, I imagine there will be a bit more treasure and the like that we could acquire for ourselves, aside from the Autumla that we are to safeguard. I figured that would be something that most people would be interested in.
I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused now.
Hmm?
Is this theft that we're investigating, or is it smuggling?
Theft. The smuggling is for the Void Keepers. It's the theft of the smugglers that we're investigating.
Because if, all right,
Wait,
Well, so here's the layout that it's given is basically things that are supposed to be coming in for inspection before moving on are disappearing.
Yeah.
Which is usually a smuggling trick to try and get it
Right.
out from under inspection.
I misunderstood the original statements because it sounded like they were smuggling it into themselves.
No, it was like Autumla is a restricted substance. It has to be
Right.
checked at inspection stations. So if
and
you
there's
have
probably
okay.
tariffs and taxes
Yeah.
and shit
So-
like that.
so
It's
right?
like
you-
somebody raided a pharmacy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
El Tumbla is medical cocaine.
Yeah.
So if you have a shipment coming in and you're trying to hide how much is there, or you're trying to hide something else in it, someone's having it disappear before it gets to the inspection
Okay.
checkpoint.
Okay.
Yeah, I misunderstood because it sounded like they were having it smuggled into themselves from the way you described it.
All right.
So,
So-
rewind that.
right.
Yes,
So
object-
with this explanation, then, are we assuming that the crew of the Zephyr are the ones that are profiting from this disappearing Autumla?
very possibly.
So they are likely to not be
No,
allies
I-
to us in this situation.
Actually, was there an indication that there were multiple different people that were bringing it in that it was disappearing from?
Yeah, it's been several shipments. So like that's a smuggling trick. It could also just be getting stolen.
Yeah.
Like that's like it's not certain which.
Okay. So it's not just it's not just the one ship that's been happening to is the thing. So it seems either every single group of individuals transporting this material is doing the exact same thing, and
Well, of course, it's multiple
in coordination with each
shippers,
other.
because if it was a single shipper, then
Yeah.
they wouldn't need us, because that'd be pretty fucking suspicious by itself.
Yes, or there's a third party involved.
Well, yeah, but even a third party
Right.
raid multiple sources.
So investigating
they-
what's
Anyway.
happening is the objective, and safeguarding the shipment as best we can.
So we're going to try and intercept the Zephyr. Hopefully before the Altumla disappears from their cargo.
So at this point, I'm turning it over to the rest of you. I'm not an experienced counter smuggler or whatever you would call it. My thought was simply to follow them, but I assume the rest of you have better ideas.
So where's it been? It's been vanishing before it gets here,
Before it gets to the inspection area.
Between the docks and the Void Keepers, somewhere. there.
Okay, but by the time it lands, it's still
It
there
makes
when
it
it
to the
lands on the
station.
planet.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it makes
Actually,
it
if
to
we
the
could-
station and disappears en route to the Void Keepers.
We can meet the ship there.
Yes. I figured we could.
And if we can
watch
see
the
who's
ship
stealing
come in.
it and follow them, I think Colton's actually got a solid idea there.
And I'm in the process of trying to put together some sort of device to help us track down the frequencies of the shielding that they use on the cargo containers. So hopefully that'll let us track them a bit easier from a bit further distance. But
And for the sake of it, the equivalent of detect magic will be able to sense the kind of protections that go around an Altumla case.
Ah, cool. I got that spell.
Voltarn, can we put it on for you?
put what on?
The detector, the tracker.
I haven't built it yet.
I know. We know. But when it is built, can we put it on?
If you'd like, though, it's more of a handheld device than a thing we leave and follow.
Oh, okay.
I could potentially, actually, now that I think about it, I could potentially build something that has. Could I make something that emits? Actually, bees. What's the quietest sound you can hear?
That is a good question. William, I assume it's
Is there a pitch?
Pretty-
Is there a pitch of sound that bees can hear that the rest of us can't? That most humanoids can't?
It's actually a really good question.
yeah.
Yes, that's actually part of how they perceive the dancing. Is they can hear the air vibrations. They do pick up low frequency sounds.
I think that's one of the reasons my perception is so high. Just because they do have pretty good senses.
I could fashion a device that emits a sound of a frequency that most humanoids cannot hear, but is of a frequency you could hear, which would be something we could also use to track anything we want.
Okay.
I'm going to spend a few minutes fiddling with a third device and see if I can get it to a frequency that nobody else can but bees can hear with my magical tinkering. Which puts me to 3 devices. Am I able to do that, William?
With the magical tinkering, probably, yeah. Just something that constantly emits a 500 hertz sound wave.
Yeah, because I can make nonverbal. I can make an object continuously emit a nonverbal sound of my choice.
Yeah, so you can just make something that constantly puts off a 500 hertz, just like whistle.
It is constantly playing Vengabus, but only bees can hear it.
Mechanically, it has a distance of up to 10 feet, but I imagine that bees can be spread out enough that won't necessarily be an issue. But that I'll leave that up to you.
I would say the sound itself can probably it can probably be heard at about 50 feet.
Okay. So, hold up an object, hit a button, none of us hear anything. Bees, do you hear this?
What is it? Yeah. What does it sound
It's
like?
just this low drone.
Yeah. Coltarn isn't fancy enough yet to be able to make it do other sounds at that frequency.
We can hear it. It sounds boring. You should make it play music next time.
I'll try.
Okay.
Trade off. Hand it to bees. Well, if you put that on something that we need to track, then hopefully they don't also have a sentient hive of bees that will be able to hear it.
Okay. If they do, we'll kill them.
And absorb them into your hive, yes.
No. We'll eat
No.
them and take their hive.
Yes, that.
That is what I meant, yes.
I just felt like we should clarify that in case anybody gets confused, because that's exactly what he's going to do, or what they're going to do.
It is. I should clarify. I can't make the sound, but when Bees laughs, it sounds like a baby laughing.
Does it sound like a
wonderful.
baby
Of course it
laughing or
does.
10,000 babies laughing?
No,
Why
it's
the
like it,
fuck wouldn't it?
there's a
Right.
little bit of an echo to it, and it kind of ripples around through the hive. But yeah, it sounds.
Yeah,
like,
that's not-
sounds.
That's not terrifying at all.
It sounds like a spectral baby.
Hey, John, there's
Yes.
something
Yeah.
worse than bees carrying something.
Yeah, bees sounding like spectral babies. That is worse than bees carrying a torch. It's true.
I concur.
I stand by my background image that I don't have anymore, which says not creepy.
What's the only thing more terrifying than a creepy doll? 1,000 creepy dolls in the same room
Fact.
at the same time.
Now, if only they all had the same face and it was a human face, not a bee face. Well, sounds like we have the fundamentals of a plan at least.
Do we?
We should figure out groups for who's going to watch what.
Well,
If-
locate package, follow package, determine what happens to package, operate from there.
That sounds like some of the jobs back at the brothel.
I mean, so we're gonna go there. We're gonna talk to him. We're gonna somehow get this thing on him.
I don't know if we need to talk to them. That's your call, I guess. Do you think if you think that would be worthwhile?
I don't see why not. I mean, they're gonna have information about what's going on, and sure, if they're lying, if they don't, if this is something that they're skimming off the top. First of all, duh to them, but second of all, we'll probably. I mean, we're pretty good at telling that kind of stuff out, right? So we'll get information off of them regardless. And it will actually, I mean, give us a reason to actually be on the ship and in the vicinity so things can be planted.
So,
Instead of just sneaking on, getting caught and being like, oh, look, I got lost on the way to the bat or whatever that's what I usually try to use, and it doesn't work very well.
I was like more watching from the outside, but you're right. It would be good to get eyes on it before it leaves the ship.
If 3 or so of us go inside the ship and the rest watch from the outside, they don't need to know that our merry band of adventurers are watching them.
You know what we need, Colton? We need like what are those things that security people use? You know, the earbuds, the comms.
Communicators?
You mean like the ones Till and I have?
Yeah, like those.
A little bit more complicated than
Maybe
I
not.
can cobble together in a short time, but I could make more.
Well, that would be really useful. Can we buy more?
Once we have some money, yes. That's the other part of this. We're getting paid for this by the ward keepers.
I would hope so.
So,
Well, in the
That and
meantime,
access to resources.
I can also try to, if I can get into the air without them seeing me, I could try to follow them from the air.
well, they're going to be landing in the docks. How about this for an idea? Kendall and Till approach. Till as acting as Kendall's bodyguard. Kendall acting as Kendall. With bees, how long can you separate from your hive?
How well do I know time? How well do the bees understand time?
I mean, bees as a species probably understand time. Well, actually, no, because you don't live on a diurnal cycle planet that you're
Yeah,
from. So
yeah.
no, I don't know.
You probably have an
and-
innate sense of time passing, but not like you have
Units
a
of
way to
measurement.
measure seconds, not in like
Yeah.
I know a day from another day.
Okay, so
And
yeah,
would
so
I be able to answer that question from experience of seeing this?
yeah, because
You know that the individual bees can spread off far and wide, but like as a cohesive unit, the bees typically don't ever depart from the hive for more than a minute.
I think the bees will just say this long and then be silent. And if nobody says anything for 60 seconds, they'll go done.
When they go off, I'm gonna say it's about a minute, a little bit longer sometimes, but not really long.
Okay.
Trying to think if that's enough time for bees to sneak a tracker aboard someone on the ship.
I think so, actually.
I
Well,
mean,
depending on how big the ship is.
do we want the tracker on somebody or do we want the tracker on the drugs?
I would say that the stuff.
Yes, on the drugs.
Right. Altumbra.
Whichever is easier. I imagine if we can get it on the stuff, that'd be perfect. But if not, someone who's handling it would be almost as good.
True, unless they're innocent.
Yes. Well, even if they are
Let's
innocent,
say ideally the stuff.
if they turn down a dark alley and get kidnapped along with the stuff, then following them as well. But
Planting a tracker on a person makes it easier for it to be detected most of the time, and if the
Also easier to
person
get lost.
does not go along with the materials, because the materials are really the salient point of interest, I'd say.
Right.
If we
That's
were stealing
another point of
Altumbra,
play.
well, this is why
if we were stealing Altumbra, we'd just kill the people with it, take the Altumbra.
That's exactly that.
This is why
I mean,
raised the.
I wouldn't kill anybody, but I would knock them out and take the stuff.
This is why I raised the idea. You all have much more experience with this thought process than I do.
I mean, mostly I just know what I have to do to get stuff past, you know, my parents when I sneak into the house and that kind of stuff, which really isn't that much different than this.
I mean, I'm an actual thief. So.
But if you think a minute would be enough time for bees to use the distraction,
Probably,
then
I would think so.
the two of you approach, have your conversation, get what information you can. Bee sneaks a tracker on board. Gideon and Mistel, as our two flyers, find a reasonable perch in the dock area where there are more people around, and thus it's less likely for it to be suspicious that you're there and flying around. And Varush and I will stand apart within the crowd, where we can blend in and be in cover because we are not stealthy. I say, indicating our general size.
Yeah, and the fact that I'm covered in ceramic plates.
Yeah.
William, I would assume with this being such a diverse area, there are other avians in the city.
Oh,
Yeah?
definitely. Yeah.
And so I've probably seen avians flying around the city because, you know, we move faster in the air.
Yep. And there's enough overhead with the environmental domes that you have decent room to fly around.
I figured, I mean, they've got buildings, they've got actual buildings that don't just go to the top of the ship.
Yeah.
So, or to the station rather. So I would think that there would be enough overhead for there to be some airspace. There's probably, vehicles that hover and stuff like that as well. So
yeah.
Does that sound?
So I can be inconspicuous while flying. That was the point that I was making.
Does that sound like a reasonable plan?
I think so.
I think so. I like it.
We're really good at sting operations.
Audible sigh from Baruch.
It was just the intake of breath, like he was going to say something and then nothing.
The player is trying not to laugh because the character is quite used to it.
And when you speak to them, just be sure. I don't know. Inquire if this is a ship that your father uses frequently. Perhaps inquire if they can give you passage somewhere, or something so that they don't believe anything's different than normal. If anybody's watching them and they react, yes.
I mean, I don't really know a whole lot about business, but I assume if she's the daughter of the guy that hires or of a guy that hires them often, she could just talk business in a lot of ways, right?
I mean, okay, good point to bring up before we go there. What do you want me to say? Because I can go in and say, "Hey, hi, how you doing? Have you been at my talked to my dad lately, etc." Oh, by the way, we understand that this is what's been going on. And then if they lie or not, judge based on that. Or I can completely avoid that topic altogether, which gives us an in to go in and talk about stuff and let bees plant the tracker. But that doesn't really tell us much, and I'm pretty much just stalling for
Well,
time.
if several people have been having this problem, you could just inquire about their experience with said problem. You know?
Though there is a point
Like-
there where even if they're not involved in whatever's happening, asking them about it could tip off the people who are involved.
Right, so we
I
have the
don't think
conversation
so.
inside.
I mean,
I get
if
myself
you're part of the
invited on.
shipping industry, people would be talking about this problem with it being a significant problem that's happening often. Yeah.
Probably.
Like it'd be a very typical conversation for like if Colton went up asking about it, it would be suspicious. But Kendall going up and asking about it is talking business.
I mean, I'm not really part of the business, so to speak, but
But who knows that?
everybody. But that's fine because they work with my dad, and if they work with my dad, I tend to try to be very friendly with people who work with my dad because
So maybe ask them about a different problem that's not this.
I mean, I can just be there and say, "Hey, while I was here, I heard about this." Once we get inside, like we're not having this conversation out in the middle in front of everybody.
Yes.
Like I get myself invited in, Till comes with me, Bees comes with, and when we're inside, I'm like, "Hey, listen, I heard that everybody around here is having trouble with this. Is that something that you know anything like is there anything you can help with on that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and judge what they say based on that. And during that time, Bees can plant the tracker and yeah.
Hey, I have a question for Coltarn and Varush.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
While you were talking to the Void Keeper guy, captain, whatever, did you ask him if they're having problems with anything else going missing as part of these theft smuggling operations?
We asked for a general overview. The primary thing was the Altumbra.
Yes.
Yeah, but other things matter too. Like the Altumbra might be the most valuable thing or the thing of most significance, but if they're taking other stuff as well, that kind of lets us know what we're dealing with. We could be dealing with people who are also looking to sell artifacts, or maybe stealing weapons, or maybe people who are using the Altumbra to cover other thefts that are not considered as valuable, but one man's trash.
That's fair. While we're waiting, Varush and I could make a call in, see if there's any other patterns that are happening. Since we're the only two that they're aware of.
That makes sense.
And as far as the conversation in the ship goes, I trust Kendall's instincts on this, so we'll let you take take whatever direction you want to, Kendall.
I agree.
We do need a signal if, for whatever reason, the inside turns dangerous or no longer tenable. to get you out.
And we
I
need
believe that
comms.
the signal on that will either be my comms or my pistol shots.
I think it'll probably be this, and then Kendall lets out the most annoying high-pitched shriek you may have ever heard in your life.
Mm.
Ears instantly
What the-
flap.
And Mistel's awake. What's going on?
That'll
Are
do
we
it.
being attacked?
Nope. Nope. Well,
Sorry, sorry. That
orally,
was-
yes.
I was
yes.
trying to. I was trying to tell them what the signal is going to be in this situation. I'm going and I'm going to say hi to some people that work for my dad. And if anything goes
Kendall.
wrong, that was.
Use your freaking words, lady.
Well, no, that's if everything goes wrong and I don't have time to say, hey, it's time to come
Yeah,
get
no,
me.
but
'cause
you could have
everything's
told us
gone
that
wrong."
I'm going to scream like a freaking
Oh.
banshee, and that would have done just as well.
Okay, no, you make a valid point. My bad.
Kendall, why don't you do like Varush and just nod?
They won't be
Can't-
able to hear the nod.
Okay.
But odds are this is all going to go fine, and we won't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
You know,
should-
my ears would have really appreciated that beforehand.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We should fill Mistel in on the situation.
And with that, with a
Blah.
plan formed and ready to be executed, but then Mistel needing to be informed on it, we're going to take a quick break.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and take our break. Those of you watching on Twitch, please stay tuned for these commercial messages. And remember, when we take our break, you take your break. So stand up, stretch your legs, grab a drink, do whatever you need to do, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're back. A dinosaur story.
Welcome back. So
Every time.
we pick up with the group having formed a plan and explained the plan to their hungover Invaran teammates.
Every time now.
Question.
Every time.
Looking them over, are they still hungover?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Both of them are still hungover.
Are it still poisoned?
Their mama's hungover.
They're not poisoned, but they're gonna have disadvantage on perception checks while the headaches are lasting.
This is why we don't take jobs until after people sober up.
We have a solution.
And
for that.
also on
We'll see.
concentration checks, but neither of them are spellcasters, so that doesn't really matter.
Yet.
This is their first hangover. They got to tough it out.
That's my mechanical effect of hangovers is disadvantage on perception and concentration.
That feels
I mean, that's
fairly
fair.
accurate
Yeah.
to hangovers.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Mhm.
I like that.
Very fair. Not that I've ever had one, but I imagine.
If you don't
I've
shut
had
your
actually
stupid ass
one.
up-
I've
Yeah.
only ever had one.
Same.
Despite
My
being
21st
multiple
birthday.
times, I've had minor headaches, and that's about it.
Yeah, no.
That is
I had one. I had one when I was 20.
It is one of the very few benefits of not having upper sinus cavities. Not
Mm.
getting hangovers.
There you go.
I don't know why. I assume it's because there's more room for the brain, or because there's less room for the stuff to get stuck. But no hangovers. Anyways, William.
Yeah. So you've explained your plan. Your friends are toughing out their hangover. And how are you going to enact this? Are you just heading over to where the dock for the Zephyr is?
Yeah, I've assumed we would have at least, by this point, we should have at least an hour before it lands.
Yeah.
So get to the dock,
open-
get in positions.
Yep.
I'm gonna hydrate while we're, parking.
Hey, Gideon,
What, man?
we got you some water.
I'm not drinking that shit, bro.
Aw,
You laughed after you said it. You obviously put something in it.
no, we didn't.
Bees. Man, if you don't go sit the hell down somewhere and leave me alone.
Okay. Drink the water, though.
I got my own water. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch for bees the whole time. I'm drinking my water.
Gonna make a sleight of hand check.
Oh, shit.
20.
Now I'm rolling perception for that, right?
Yep.
At disadvantage.
Yep, because you're hungover.
Hmm. Yeah, that fucking tracks.
Several individual bees sneak over at various times, just holding essentially, one large droplet of the bog water apiece and drop it into your water. The rest of you will clearly notice, although I guess Gideon doesn't notice the.
Hey, I would like to make a useless roll to try this because I need a 19 or a 20 to succeed.
Well, I will also say bees are giggling throughout, so it is not even though that.
Till doesn't
Till,
see shit.
Till is very focused on Kendall right now, and also
Nope.
kind of, yeah.
So your perception,
Mistel's still hungover.
your perception also is a disadvantage, Mistel.
The cop noticed the drugging attempt.
That tracks.
Rouge isn't a cop.
Yes, Varouche is the only one who notices the
He's
bog water
interdimensional border
spiking of the
patrol at
regular.
worst.
Border Patrol is on upgrade, Jack.
Right?
Really isn't.
I didn't say interdimensional ice.
Can I taste it, William?
Oh, definitely. After like a few drops, that water is immediately a present.
Jeez, what the fuck, man?
We did a prank.
It's not. It's. I'm gonna fucking murder you. I'm gonna kill you.
We poisoned you.
Legitimately, that's ammonia.
You had a face. I would punch you in it right now.
We don't. You can hit our armor though. That's fair.
Can someone who is not bees go get me more water, please?
I will.
I'll go get you some water. Hold on.
Gideon, we'll get you water. We're sorry.
No.
Till, can you go get some water for?
I'll go get some water.
I
I like the chain of custody on that water request.
Did you think that Kendall was actually going to do it?
how far does Till get before Colton just starts undoing a part of his backpack to produce some of the
Literally Till carries water on him. It's like, yeah, no,
Okay.
it's literally just glug. Right. There you are, Gideon.
Thanks, man.
have brewing supplies for a reason.
Of course.
Water's included.
Also, when did you take up
Man.
thievery? This is the first I've heard of it.
You lucky y'all motherfuckers don't sleep neither, because I'd get you. I would get you soon. Ooh, as soon as you get to sleep. Ooh, you ain't
okay.
funny. You're not funny. You're not funny. Play too much.
Funny. Okay. Gideon, we're sorry.
Camille, did you hear what Jack said?
Oh, okay. And no, Till asked, when did you take up thievery as a career? This is the first I've heard of it.
Who, me? Well, I was raised in a brothel and left alone when I was 6. So
Look,
just came
Mistel's
that way.
actively stolen from me before, so I know that she's good at it, but from what it sounded like, it was mostly something that you and Bees did to fuck around and annoy the lawkeeper.
Oh no, I actually stole shit like all the time.
Oh,
Like,
okay. Well, excellent.
all
That's
the
good to
time.
know.
Most of the time. I never stole from you because, well, I liked you. Also, you paid me to show you around and shit. So people pay me. I don't have to steal.
Till's just keeping a mental Rolodex now.
Mr. will
Only
fly
ever
over
stole
and
from
sit
clients
on,
when they didn't pay.
Mr. will sit on Till's shoulder. I won't steal from you again.
All right.
I still won't return the stuff I stole from you the first time.
I know. That's why, yes.
It was mine. I found it.
What'd you get?
What would she have gotten off of him?
Probably mostly weird food and money.
I got some money and I got these interesting tasting cakes. I
Oh
ate them.
boy. Oh.
That was probably a
Okay.
fun time if they were cakes that was on Till.
Yep.
Those were for Kendall.
It's a
No,
fun
this was
night that
before I
night.
met Kendall.
These were- they were mostly birdseed.
Mostly.
Yeah, but after about a few minutes of this, you begin to see the large shape of the Zephyr pulling in through the environmental shields towards the space dock, and it does look. If you imagine like a massive tree floating through space, but instead of roots branching out, they just sort of spiral together to almost a spear point at the front. The roots sort of coiling around each other, and then you can see
Till gets a grin on his face.
you can see the bioluminescence of internal plant life and different fungus that illuminates the interior of this living ship, with the massive bow of ancient wood and leaves spreading out behind it as this enormous ship, just slowly made entirely of living plant matter, slowly glides into dock.
Hey, Beast.
Hi, Gideon. You forgive us?
You know I'm not actually mad at you, right?
Okay. Thanks, Gideon.
Yeah, I realized I probably should have clarified that before. Anyway, we're live. I'm gonna go find somewhere to perch.
Okay.
I'm going to go find an open air bar in the docks because it's the docks, so there's going to be an open air bar.
Oh yeah.
Seems reasonable.
I'm gonna
Mistel will go with Gideon.
I want to find a Void Keeper terminal somewhere nearby and do the equivalent of keeping an eye on the ship while having pretty much just Galaga playing on the screen.
That man over there was playing Galaga. We thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
We did.
I did that.
What is the ship frame on the Zephyr? Is it like a frigate class transport freighter? What are we talking here?
The Zephyr would be. Let me pull up. I haven't made the Elven ships yet, so I don't have a name for it, but I can give you its size class. It would be.
I am also like Coltarn is sketching the ship while he's sitting at the bar having a drink, because he's also interested in this mechanically and wants to know how he might build this in the future.
The Zephyr would be a Corvette class.
Corvette class? Okay. On the larger end, then.
Yeah.
Not that this matters at all to what's going on, but yeah, Coltarn is like, he's trying to, like, from studying it externally, ascertain, what parts of this was natural, what parts of this were encouraged, like via magic or via growing, how they might have encouraged it to take certain shapes, and also like how, if you can tell how they seal it against space, where the propulsion systems
you
are.
could ask Till about that. This is what he does for a job.
Yeah, but you're currently escorting Kendall, so he's just
I mean, that's fair.
He's just watching, taking notes, and trying to analyze.
Roll technology. Or mechanics, whichever one is the hardware.
Technology.
I forget.
Yes, technology.
Right, computers is the software.
19.
So with a 19, the big thing that you notice is is how they seal the environment. It's really hard to tell how the plant life is formed that way without getting a very up close look at it.
Yeah.
But it looks like, because it's a plant, it is creating its own atmosphere. The plant is producing its own breathable atmosphere that is being contained within a very thin biosphere.
Could I get an idea of like what it's using to translate into that atmosphere? Because like a normal tree, would take in elements of the atmosphere around it to generate breathable air. Like what? Like, is there something very obvious about it as to where it might be drawing that, or is it like when it comes into a breathable atmosphere, that's when it restocks, for lack of a better term?
It could be that whenever it enters breathable atmosphere, it refreshes its life support system, basically.
Yeah.
But it's also quite possible that it has grown so large that it sustains its own atmosphere from itself. Like it has plants growing in it that provide. It recycles its own atmosphere quite literally.
Yeah.
Is also a potential option, which would require it only to refill like very, very long term whenever like just like the sheer amount of just like entropy of chemical reaction slowly removes the amount of stuff they need.
Yeah. I'm half paying attention to whatever might be coming out of it and half just studying the ship now.
And when you consider it, like if they've got that sort of recycling atmosphere going on, refreshing it could be as simple as a spell. Or like pulling mana from the Stardust engine.
And I'm definitely trying to figure out how I might incorporate that with other ship designs, specifically the life support systems. And that's what I'm doing in this scene.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kendall, you and Till. As the Zephyr puts into dock and clamps are put around the ship to hold it in place, and a docking ramp composed of a series of tree roots extends out from the side to the platform.
So Kendall's not trying to be like, oh, I just happened to know. She's just gonna walk right up to where the hatch opens.
Nobody bothers you if you look like you belong there.
Yep. I remind, what's the captain's name?
Captain Xanarim.
Xanarim.
And he is the first man off the ship as you identify the it's very overwrought nature aesthetic that Captain Xanarim keeps with him. He has this like leaf green and patterned like leaves long coat that he wears at all times, with a like the very old fashioned like pointed captain's hat, like almost like you would equate it with a Robin Hood hat, but with more of a slight naval flair to it, and it's just drawn out longer than it would normally be, with long white hair around to like mid shoulders, with the sort of silvered tattoos that stretch up his neck and around his face that make the designs of tree roots across his face.
Okay.
Has these sort of amber eyes as he steps down.
So Kendall makes a much more muted, more like excited scream sound, much quieter, much chiller than what forcibly brought people to consciousness earlier. Hi, Zenny. Hi.
There's a moment's pause before recognition flashes. Ah, you must be Miss Kendall Fairchild. It's been a while.
It has. How are you? I heard you were arriving, and I just had to come and say hi. How are you doing?
Doing quite well, quite well. How's your father?
Doing good. It's been a little while since I've talked to him. Not too long, a little while, and he's doing good. What brings you here?
Just a shipping stop. Have to refuel our Stardust engines before we move on to Gilgamesh for our final departure.
Gotcha. You've got a minute, right? Let's catch up. And she just simply goes and like takes his arm and starts walking back into the ship. Oh, this is Till.
Nod. And Till at this time is looking around. He's trying to see if he can pinpoint anything on the ship that's maybe broken, damaged, or otherwise the sort of thing where you can comment on, like, oh, your aft stabilizer seems to be shaking loose, that kind of thing.
Roll technology.
What does that use?
Normally it would be intelligence, but because you're looking for something broken, we'll say it's wisdom.
Okay, that'll just be a wisdom check because I'm not proficient. 18.
So looking around, you spot a few different locations where there's something that probably could use a little bit of touching up. Like you notice that the mana infuser that would normally cause the roots for the ramp to grow out is slightly chipped. So the roots you noticed as you came in actually grew out for the ramp a little bit slower than they should.
Okay. He's just making mental notes. That'll come up if it needs to.
And this is Bees.
Hello, we're bees.
He nods, sort of. I've not seen an amalgamation of creatures like you, bees. Interesting.
Nope. If there were, we'd kill them.
Of course.
They're awesome. So, and as we're walking inside,
just roll me a performance check, Kendall.
Okay.
Oh, thank God! I thought you were gonna say bees.
Bees begins an interpretive tap dance.
Actually, we're probably okay at dance.
I may be using inspiration for this. We will see. Oh, that's right. I need. Damn it! I was gonna. Okay. See what I roll first. Yep.
Inspiration's a wonderful thing.
Jeremy's dice.
That's better.
Yeah, that's much better.
That's better.
It's significantly better.
So
Yeah,
you're
four
just
times better,
making
in
small
fact.
talk. You're
Yes.
just making small talk essentially, and just kind of.
Do you still have that one? Do you still have the one crewman who there? It was. This was like, I don't know, maybe a couple years ago, and it's just going to some random person who had got her eye.
Yeah, as it turns out, they are still on the ship.
Awesome. Yeah, wait till once I've sort of guided him somewhere in the ship. Cockpit, somewhere like that. So listen, I heard that you've been having some problems, not you specifically, but I've heard that there's been a problem with some shipping stuff being taken. And that's been hitting a lot of ships like yours, who are shipping in. Sorry, the name of the drug.
Altumbla.
Altumbra.
Yes, Altumbra. Have you had any of that going on?
I can't say that I'm familiar with the disappearance, but I've also not been in this corner of the galaxy for a little while, he says.
I will insight check that with my -1 to insight, because
Oh, Till will help you on that one.
wisdom is the best dump stat.
It's a 12 on the insight.
That is also a 12 on the insight.
We're a great team.
We
If
are.
you put it together, it's 24.
That is true. That is how it should work.
So do you have multiple people? You just add all their rolls together and so
Yep,
you get
right,
like a
just
50
keep it going, right, yep.
100%. Mob rules D&D.
But he's hard to read, but he seems perplexed by the mention as he sort of like furrows his brow. I wouldn't be surprised. Altumbla is certainly a rare commodity. Having it stolen is likely an excellent source of black market material.
Right. So I heard from a little bird, not this one, that you might have some on the ship.
Yes, actually, we were bringing some to Gilgamesh for your father, actually.
Huh. Okay. So you, and she completely bypasses that. That's me. So I wanted to let you know, just so, because obviously if this is going on, you don't want to lose. Apparently it's been happening to multiple ships. So it's not like just one bad crew member, it doesn't look like. And I'm assuming while we are doing this, there is a bee flying off to go plant things.
That's up to Craig. Is a bee flying off to go plant things?
As soon as there is an opportunity for us to sort of sneak off, or at least some of us to sneak off, absolutely. That's what we're waiting for. Just for this. I just didn't want to interrupt it because it was a really cool scene.
Fair enough.
So yeah, while that conversation is happening, bees, make me a survival check.
Survival? Okay.
If you fail, you die. That's why it's called survival.
17.
17. You're able to navigate the ship well enough and find where the cargo is being offloaded, and you are able to make me a stealth or sleight of hand check.
They are identical. Oh, 13.
Let's see how that goes.
I think, can I wait and see how it goes? Because otherwise I want to use inspiration.
You may want to use inspiration.
I think you have to use inspiration before result. Yeah.
No, I'll say you can use it if you know after you know if you pass or fail. I will tell you right now that that is on the borderline.
That's
better.
7. Okay.
That's better. Okay. So, yeah, one of your bees very, very quietly manages to flutter over and just plant the device on the side of one of these crates. Make me a perception check to make sure that you find the right crate.
All right. It's a 24.
Use all of those eyes.
Good. Yeah, you identify the crate. It's very clearly demarcated and denoted as like special interest, very fragile environmental seals, and you very quickly surmise that that's what you're looking for.
Okay, I hate to do this to myself, and I'm hoping we can explain it away with the 24 on the roll. Bees definitely can't read.
You can't, but the symbols that are there are things that you've seen before.
Okay.
Like biohazard, like this is dangerous, keep it safe.
Okay. All right, cool.
It's
why they
marked
use
important. Right.
The more stickers, the more valuable.
Yeah, that's why they use symbols instead of lettering, because not everyone reads every language.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like it'll often
okay.
be written in Goblin Basic, but there's a lot of symbols.
Just wanted to double check. Okay, great. All right, so we will go ahead and then pop it on. And I think then, because we're using Be Jaunt, what has happened back in the conversation is just a sort of a slow but steady stream of the torch bees have been leaving the hive armor, which is just sort of standing there next to Kendall and Till, and slowly sort of slumping forward more and more. And it
We
just
went
looks
out a window.
yeah, exactly. I feel like it is just it looks like Bees is progressively getting more and more bored with the conversation. I mean, and there are always some of the torch bees left in the hive, but there are not enough to make it move or stand up or anything at this point. And then as soon as the device is installed, do I need to make a roll to do that?
No, you plant it, you press the button, it starts emitting that low hum, and you.
Okay. And we've come back, and then the hive sort of Till and Kendall can see the hive sort of stand up and
Okay.
Perk back up a
sort of
little
lurch
bit.
back up to upright posture.
So yeah, so that's been going on, just blathering on a little bit. And once B sort of straightens back, it's like, so if you need anything, I've actually managed to hook myself up with a pretty cool group of people like Bees and a couple other people, and they're
We're the
like
best ones.
they're like troubleshooters of a sort, but
We do things.
like troubleshooters that they're troubleshooters, yeah. So
I take your meaning, he says, looking at Till's guns.
so if you need anything, also, where are you going next? I'm curious.
Gilgamesh,
Our
you
next
said?
stop, our next stop is Gilgamesh Station. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Are you gonna be here long?
Probably for a couple of evenings, getting
Okay.
everything checked out in customs, and then moving on to the station.
Awesome. Well, maybe I'll see you later then. I know you've got a lot to do. I just wanted to come and give you the heads up about, the whole stealing drugs thing.
Pleasure speaking to a member of the Fairchild family, as always.
Till kind of
Always
narrows
good
his
to
eyes
see
a
you
little bit.
too, Vanny. And
And then-
now we'll make our graceful exit out.
Meanwhile, Varouche, as you're just standing there watching, and you can see Coltarn over across the way, sitting at one of the bars, is keeping an eye on things.
Yeah, I'm kind of keeping an eye out to see if there's anybody trying to not be seen getting off the ship near the cargo area, or B, also keeping tabs on the ship
Mm-hmm.
and the crew leaving, entering and exiting.
Roll me a perception
I'm gonna-
check. Sorry, Gideon, or your Camille.
I'm also going to make a perception check. I'm going to spend an inspiration to make it a normal roll instead of a disadvantage.
I got another natural 20.
Nice.
But with an inspiration, you actually wouldn't you just roll a third dice and then pick which one is the best? William,
I mean,
no,
theoretically,
William?
yeah, using it like a luck, yeah, you can just roll disadvantage and then roll a third die.
So roll disadvantage. So I'll roll a disadvantage.
And then roll a third one and pick whichever one is best.
Gotcha.
And I guess I'm also keeping an eye on the ship. I'm just like more mechanically, but I would also make a perception check, I guess.
Yeah.
Can I also make perception?
You will be at disadvantage
Okay.
because you are still hungover. Yeah, you can use that 21.
Also 21.
Wait.
Mistel is very hungover.
That one guy is leaving the ship and it says thief on the back of his coat.
She's keeping an eye out for thieves, so she's just like looking in a mirror.
Watching you.
You look familiar.
So, Varush, Gideon, and Coltarn, all three of you are just sort of eyes on the ship. You're seeing the crew beginning to unload everything, and you can see as they begin to pull off heavy crates and start to load them onto grab trolleys to move them where they feel like. There's a one of them begins to load up with a variety of like specially sealed and extra signposted boxes, which you can only assume to you can't tell quite from this distance, but you would assume them to be the relevant ones, as the most heavily marked and symboled boxes of the group.
Mm-hmm.
And you're focused on that, which is why, Varush, it really surprises you when there is suddenly someone at your shoulder as you hear a feminine voice, very sort of deep and lilting. Ah, so I see you're keeping an eye on what's going to happen to those boxes. You must be looking for the work of the night crawlers.
I'll turn and look at whoever just popped up next to my shoulder.
You turn around and look, and you are face to face with a humanoid-ish looking individual. Her skin is this sort of blood red coloration with black tattoos that sort of trace down the side of her face, and then a similar from the sides of her forehead down into a singular line that traces down the bridge of her nose, black line from the bottom of her lip down. Long white hair in a variety of braids, wearing this dark brown and black leather outfit lined with fur and scales, with these glowing golden eyes, as she, with her pointed ears and sharp fangs in her mouth, as she grins at you as you look down at her. She's only a little bit shorter than you are, which is impressive. And she just kind of grins as you look at her.
You would be?
Jasira Zatrin, pleasure to meet you.
Would you be one of these night crawlers?
No, I work.
While I ask that question, can I try to activate my comms sneakily?
Oh,
So that
absolutely,
it just starts
absolutely,
broadcasting.
absolutely. Also, while you're doing this, your pendant is vibrating.
Ah, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, so yeah, sleight of hand. I'm assuming.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not terrible.
Inspiration. Not terrible, but
Hill, I hope your comm isn't on speakers.
It's not.
let's see. 16. I used an inspiration.
You reach to your comms, and you can immediately see that her eyes track your hand movement.
Mm-hmm. What about these night crawlers?
Well, they're
And
a
are
bunch
you
of.
one of them?
No, I don't work with the night crawlers. I'm an independent third party, we'll say.
Yeah, are Till and I hearing this now?
Did you go ahead and continue to activate it, knowing that she was seeing what you were doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, all I did was hit a button.
Yep. So you get the immediate sense that, knowing that you're broadcasting that, she is picking her words very carefully.
Okay.
I'm, shall we say, an independent third contractor. The night crawlers are something of a problematic bunch that have been on the station for a little while, hijacking cargo, making black market deals that aren't necessarily to everyone's benefit, causing a general stir and giving the underworld a bad name.
Heard a bit about the cargo being stolen. How do you know it's them?
I've been keeping an eye on them for a while. Your friends in the Elven ship don't know it yet, but that cargo isn't going to make it to the station, as I'm sure you're already aware.
Is it going to make it off the ship?
Oh, it will. But about halfway to the transport to the platform where the station is at, it'll be lost.
If
So
that's
very-
coming, if that's coming over the comms, Till's going to tap Kendall on the shoulder and say, "Let's follow this cargo train."
Okay.
So yeah, I sorry, yeah.
There's no way for Gideon to communicate this, but the plan was specifically for Mistle and Gideon to follow from the air and the tracking device to be.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
Till's not like joining the convoy. He's just taking a stroll in the same direction at a reasonable distance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're all like tracking it, just not as directly as you and Mistle will be.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I'm listening to this. I'm just gonna like slightly adjust my seating so I can get a better view of where Varouche is, and just keep an eye on whatever's going on over there.
Yeah,
if there's
you also
more-
see this red-skinned woman, and she seems to be the only person there talking to Baruch.
All right, so I'm keeping an eye on. So I'm just gonna keep an eye out just in case I see anybody else appear, like in the area that Varouche might not see.
Hmm.
And were you tasked with investigating these thefts as well, or
No, I've been keeping my eyes on you.
he'll kind of like put his hands on his hips and kind of laugh, do a short little chuckle, and like look down. What color is his holy symbol glowing?
Crimson.
That's Zarheim, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what exactly?
Roll a
Are you-
religion check real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
19.
You're pretty certain
with
you're
no
talking-
modifier. That's pretty good.
You're pretty certain. You're pretty certain that you're talking to a Cambion.
Yeah. And
Camille, we're
what
getting a lot of
exactly
bleed
are
through
you-
on your phone, by the way.
Hang on 1 second.
No worries.
How's that? Oh.
Yeah.
Mason, close the door.
Better.
And what exactly are you watching for?
Well, a group of unique individuals stepped off one of the most expensive starships I've ever seen dock at this little city in the middle of nowhere. And you happen to be coming in the company of what looked to be one of the heads of the Core Adventurers League. You seem relevant, and then you start poking your noses into the underworld, and I'm just a little curious.
Well, we're adventurers.
So
We're
I can
getting
tell.
paid. I don't think we're anybody special. Oh, bees is pretty special. They're.
Oh,
Have
please.
you ever seen a sentient hive?
I smell Nocturna on you. You're adventurers who have been there, which means you've probably been to see the Oracle. Which means
Heard of
there
her.
is definitely something special about you. Roll deception.
Actually, I don't give a shit if she knows if I'm lying.
You get the sense she knows exactly that you're lying. But I think we could be of assistance to each other.
I would be interested to see how you think that would work, but
Well, if you're interested in the night crawlers, for instance, your friends aren't going to be able to follow them. They're very quick, and they've got very good magic and very good secret bolt holes. They'll make off with that cargo and vanish very quickly. But I happen to know just the palms to grease, the informants to threaten, and the pathways to walk to potentially lead you down to where they'll be taking whatever they're hijacking.
that does sound like it would be very helpful, but I believe we've got it handled.
If you like. I'll be around if you change your mind, she says as she steps back and massive bat wings unfurl from under her cloak.
I'll just turn back to the terminal and well, anybody that has a communicator has been broadcasting you the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Mhm.
So
Just be like, yep, that's the thing that just happened.
You wing beats and she's gone.
I want to watch what direction she goes in.
She takes off up into the air for a minute and then disappears around a support structure and into a nest of steel machinery and is just gone.
Once she's gone, just over the comms. That has got to be the weakest bargain for a soul I've ever heard about. So, I'll tell you where this thing you're tracking is going.
She never mentioned what she wanted in payment.
She's a I saw red skin and
Could
bat
we tell that
wings.
she was a Cambion from? I don't know if Till's group had eyeline on her at all, but
No, Till's group wouldn't have had eye. The only people who would have
Okay.
actually seen her would have been Baruch and Coltarn.
Shit,
Okay.
bat wings and red skin. Coltarn's making assumptions.
I feel like, to be fair, Till might be distracted by having to hold Kendall back from going because she's like, I'll show you what I smell like, you bitch.
easy.
She was also talking to Varouche, so
Yes, I understand, but there was a clear implication there.
that we all smell like Nocturna.
I'll have you
so-
know, I take very good care of myself, and I don't smell like.
also you remember walking like through a disinfection field as you entered the Black
Yeah.
Star, so it's not a physical smell
Right.
that she's picking up.
I get that. Do you think Kendall does?
But it's Kendall.
Yeah, it's Kendall.
that can be an implied that Kendall stank like a swamp.
Yes, exactly.
And that's all that matters.
He understands on an intellectual level, but
Yeah, but she implied that she smelled like that by association, even.
right.
Well, that just won't stand.
So
That
Meanwhile,
will not stand at all.
the cargo.
yes. So as abrupt as that was, it was still helpful. We now have a window of when it should be taken from. If we figure out the route that they're going to be taking to the checkpoint, she said about halfway.
And
when
it'll
it
be
should
going,
disappear.
and it'll be taken by magic.
I saw the thing leaving the ship, right?
They're still offloading.
Oh.
It's still on a grab trolley.
And now, after this conversation is over, it's starting to move.
Yes. So if Gideon Mistel,
Once I
watch
have
from
eyes
above.
on it and I'm seeing it move, I'm going from the air and trying to follow, I guess, stealthily while also keeping it in sight.
Coltarn, perhaps me and you get ahead of it until Bees and Kendall come up behind.
Over comms. Hey, Gideon.
Gideon doesn't have
I don't
comms.
actually have a comm. I don't think I have a
Oh.
comm.
All right, never mind.
Yeah,
Does bees have a
How
com?
much are they?
Con?
Oh, we would have had to buy them. Okay, yeah, bees definitely
Yeah.
didn't.
Comms are 2 gold apiece if you get the cheap kind, not the
The 5 mile.
backpack
Oh,
unit.
shit. Man. Oh, all right. Well, I guess I'll buy one next chance we get.
Yeah, I think at the
But I
moment.
totally could have afforded one. I just didn't know
Yeah.
I didn't know
Ditto.
what they cost.
Well, I don't
About,
think bees would have one anyway.
about this time, when she realizes how many people are not talking on comms, like, did they not have?
No, they don't.
Why not?
Because we are woefully unprepared and really making this up as we go along.
All right, we're gonna have to get them. That's just how it's gonna.
Eventually, yes. But right now, let's try and keep an eye on this thing because apparently this stuff's going to get stolen right out from under our noses. And I'd like to possibly at least make a blood trail.
Yeah,
Alright.
according to that bitch.
So
Although, Miss Fairchild, if you think about it, despite the bitchy nature of the person we're discussing, if indeed this stuff does vanish out from under our noses, we do have a fallback option, at least. Not the most pleasant, but
Which
Potential.
fallback option?
if she can indeed fulfill her boast,
I don't want to.
oh, trust me, most of my life has been making deals I would rather not have in order to get done what needed to be done.
Yeah, but I don't have to do that.
True, but the rest of us might. And if you want to keep hanging out with them,
Fine.
it might be something that it might be a new experience for you to consider.
Fine.
you can also just ask Daddy.
Yeah, ask Daddy about his missing drugs.
Hey, I'm sure he'd want them back.
Do you want everybody we know to die?
So a few minutes pass as this trolley continues to move along.
Sorry, yeah. So because Varush made a suggestion,
sorry.
and no, it's all right. Over the comms. All right. We're the easiest ones to get out of the way right now. So Varush and I will do our best to stay ahead of them while Mistle and Gideon fly above. I'm assuming Till, you, Bees, and Kendall are coming from the behind.
Phrasing.
What phrasing?
God damn it.
From the behind.
Yes, we are.
About how long?
I know that,
Um,
Camille. Coltarn doesn't.
Gotcha.
Just rough idea. How long is it going to take for them to get the crew to get the cargo from cargo bay to the checkpoint? How long should that generally take?
Probably like to the verification point, probably
Yeah.
about half an hour.
Okay. So then about 5 minutes into our walk, ahead of it, I'm gonna cast Detect Magic and concentrate on that to see if this is gonna be taken by magic. I'm looking for people with magical shit.
Please let me know if
So
I get
anything
another
within
chance
30
for a
feet.
roll to see if I can catch the thieves or spot the thieves.
Well, everybody
Same.
roll me either perception or actually no, yeah, perception.
I would like to make an argument for investigation because I'm not looking for the thieves because I don't think I'll be able to spot them. I'm looking for ideal points of ambush, particularly from a magical perspective, places that are going to be very good for making something disappear without making it a huge fuss. Because if they're going to disappear it magically, they're going to do it in a place where they can hide the fact that they're making it disappear magically.
I have one more inspiration, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that.
What was
Yeah,
that,
same.
Jeremy?
Am I still at disadvantage?
Yes.
Why are Jack and I just constantly matching rolls?
Right?
Wow.
And yes, you can roll investigation for what you're looking for, Coltarn.
I have no idea.
Which also means you're rolling better than me at a lot of this stuff.
Uh-huh.
So congratulations there. Proud of you, bud.
It's doubly
Hey!
confusing.
So,
And Mistle flies into a wall.
18.
See, I got. Why not?
So, I need to make some rolls quick.
Man, I used my last inspiration on this, and they were still shit receptacles.
Fuck.
Same. I rolled a 7 with.
I'm sorry. I thought okay. You might have okay, never mind then.
We didn't need the
I was
campaign
like-
after all. The dice helped us out.
I can't tell if that's really, really good for us or really, really bad.
That sounds like good
It
for
is
us to me,
probably
but we'll
one
find
of
out.
probably one of those two, though.
I
Uh
the
the opposite.
thought some of these characters would survive this first arc, but
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, looks like y'all are getting the pirate.
Oh no,
Queen
I don't
after
think we're
all.
gonna die. I think we're just gonna lose this fucking shit
Camille's probably on point there.
Do I get a chance?
because nobody saw that shit.
Could I use
nobody?
Could I use my inspiration to reroll my thing?
You can,
Yeah. Let's
because at the moment none of you beat the stealth roll.
Oh, I'm hoping that I'm not looking at a stealth roll. I'm trying to investigate a location. So
Problem is, there's plenty of locations, and trying to find the right one.
yeah.
Legit. Yeah, I'm not risking another inspiration with a
I don't
plus
have it.
1.
So yeah, 21 is my.
I have a +8. My inspiration was well spent. I rolled 3 dice and they were all shit.
Yeah.
It's valid.
Well, I got the highest, so let's see what happens.
Problem is, they rolled a natural 20,
Yeah.
and their
Yeah.
modifier is not small.
Look,
Yep.
I tried.
That
okay?
tracks.
I chose well.
So as you're going, you keep an eye on the transport as it's going, and it's as it reaches like a relatively narrow alleyway, you hear a pop, pop, crack, and the lights above flicker and then go out, and you're plunged into a regular like very deep darkness. And those of you who have dark vision are feeling fine because the lights just suddenly went out. It puts the crew on edge for a minute, but they're fine. And then the natural like absence of light becomes absolute black as just a complete darkness descends over the convoy. There's the sound of panic.
I'm assuming I detect magic.
You do.
does fairy fire penetrate magical darkness?
It does not.
Okay.
Dark magical, specifically the darkness spell extinguishes any lights of less than 3rd level.
Okay.
Well, keeping.
And you
up-
hear the sound of panic. You hear footsteps. And you hear a vroom.
Yeah, definitely gonna run to it.
I'm gonna walk because running's just gonna waste energy, and I don't want to get there. I don't want to die tired.
Do I still hear it?
Nope. The humming is gone.
I'm gonna try my very best not to run into anything because I do not have dark vision and I'm now in the fucking magical darkness.
We lost it. It's gone. We don't hear
thi-
it anymore.
A few moments pass, the magical darkness disappears, and the crew are left standing in the middle of the ground with the light still down, with the entire cart and everything that was on it gone.
Before the darkness vanishes, Kendall leans over to Till. It's like, Till, should I do my indicate something the wrong signal?
I think everybody already knows,
Okay.
but it was well thought.
And then, yeah.
If it's still just dark, I can't see shit because I don't have dark vision.
Yeah, the lights are out. The lights were actively shorted out, which was, as you're putting it together with that investigation check, Coltarn, that's how they made it not look like it was magic, because all the regular lights went out first.
Yep, that would be the way. All right.
How close together are each of us now? Are we sort of regrouped now, or not so much?
You're in a loose circle around the environment.
Are we in a, like, let's say 30-foot area?
No, you're probably within 120 feet of each other.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
at the risk of triggering the end of the episode, I'm going to walk into the alleyway, sort of reach up, grab Varush's shoulder, guide him forward as we go.
Do I know you?
Yes, Varush.
Oh, okay.
And
It's dark.
and just sort of like look into the alleyway, look at the people that are in there. Well, you done fucked up.
And it's roughly at that point that the lights start to flicker before they come back on. And you hear a voice from standing on the rooftop above you say, "Told you." As you look up and you can see sitting on the rooftop with legs kicked over the side, that same red-skinned individual with long white hair just looking down the roof at the group of you.
Oh,
And we're going to end for the week.
This would be the point where Kendall signals that something is wrong.
Wonderful.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.